Hello all, 6th of June 2017, Dan here from Essex UK, and today we're going to talk about how to grow great brassica crops at home or at the allotment. So let's go. Now let's have a look at what we've got growing here. So we'll start this side. What we've got here is some kale, we've got some Brussels sprouts here, we've got some more kale here and some more kale here. Over here we have got some purple sprouting broccoli. Now I don't know if it's strictly a brassica, but I've also got some spinach here, and over there, I don't know if you can see it, I have got, just to zoom in, leave for the yellow bit on, just there you see, that is some Swiss chard. Now this is all doing well in here. So what we'll do is we'll start from the top down, so you can see that it's well and truly covered in this net. And what you want to do is you want to get the closest knit net that you can get. You want the squares, the holes, to be as small as possible, simply because cabbage white butterflies can wriggle through things very easily. Now this could be closer knit, the squares could be smaller, but the only problem was I didn't have any around and I wanted to get the netting up. So what I did was I simply doubled it over, and as you can see, you know, the holes are not too big when they are doubled over like this, but you want to get as close knit as possible. Make sure the top is covered, and what I've done is I've tied it together. If your netting for whatever reason doesn't stretch far enough, I've tied it together using this yellow washing line, which looks a bit odd, but I've been told it's a good thing because it should hopefully stop the birds from flying into it, causing injury, and may even keep the birds away. So that's a good thing. But make sure you cover it up to keep cabbage white butterfly and birds such as pigeons off. Certainly when the plants are small, pigeons and birds can literally decimate your crop. So you want to be careful there, make sure you cover it. Now you can see what we've got here. The reason why I've built my brassica cage a little bit higher is simply because so I can at least kind of stand up in it a little bit. I didn't want to be bending down too much in there. That's why I did it anyway. So there we go. Now looking at the soil, it's very enriched. So it's a bit of garden soil in there. It's got fish blood and bone in there, a lot of horse manure. I put some cardboard in there to help hold the moisture, and what I also did was put some ash in there as well. Let's have a look over here. So I've used ash from the log burner here, and you can use ash with things. You don't want to use too much, but you can, if you can get hold of it, or you've got a open fire or a log burner, you can use ash from burning wood, dry seasoned wood, and you can put it on your garden. Now you don't want to be using it if you're growing fruit crops in a space such as strawberries, fruit bushes, fruit trees, etc., because it has an alkalizing effect on the soil, which when you're growing fruit you don't want too much, because fruit quite often likes an acidic conditions. But like this, it's good for it. So that's actually mixed in here as well, so that's a good thing. So make sure your soil is good, and there's also like sort of rotting or rotted vegetable matter in there, like a bit of a sort of old rotting cabbage leaves from last year or earlier on this year, a bit of your sort of peel from various carrots and things like that. You get the idea. It's in there, and that's what you want to be thinking. You want to get your soil enriched as much as possible. Now the seeds that I chose to use, so these ones I put them in a little bit later. This is Golden Acre, but what I did was only about 2 months ago now, I started them off inside, and then I moved them out later into the polytunnel. And this is Vates blue curled kale, which I grew myself from seed, and Fillbasket Brussels sprouts, which again I grew from seed. More Vates blue curled kale that I grew from seed, and here, this is another variety of kale that I was actually given, which is very kind, and I was also given the purple sprouting broccoli and the spinach. But make sure when you grow them, you protect them, because again, birds and things like that will eat them. So started them off inside, and when they germinated, when they were a decent size, I then put them out into the polytunnel and they grew. And then when they were big enough, and when the brassica cage was constructed, I then set them out here. Now a few other YouTubers have actually spoke to me about this, and they've said that they know of other people that have done well setting their brassica plants in close proximity, just as I have. So you can see how close together they are. Now I didn't think they were going to do as well as this, simply because they were set close together. But it appears to have worked. I don't know why. Maybe they just enjoy each other's company. Maybe they are social plants, I don't know. But either way, they've grown very quickly and done incredibly well. And it does get a fair degree of sun here, so put them in a place which you can get plenty of sun, and make sure you just keep an eye on things. But first harvest of these today, and you can see what I've got here. Now you can see this is I keep saying that, don't I? The Vates blue curled kale, and look at that. Very nice. Eating a bit of that raw. Going to cook that up and have that for dinner. Got a very nice earthy taste. So that's basically what I've done. If any of you are thinking of growing cabbages, you could maybe use this as an example. Cabbages, brassicas, Brussels sprouts, etc. Now, I'm expecting these Brussels sprouts to have some good stems of crops on them, hopefully for later in the year, Christmas time. But we shall see what happens about that. But the secret is, well, not even a secret really, the thing is, when you're growing cabbages, make sure you cover them up so that the birds and cabbage white butterfly don't get in there. Make sure that your soil is enriched, and from what has worked for me is setting them relatively close together. Seems to work. So there you go. That is Dan's guide to growing brassicas. Take care, speak soon.